Hey everybody, Ryan Doyle here, welcoming you back to the Verdigris Table, where we're in the middle of a series helping Dungeon Masters prepare to run the Dragon of Icespire Peak from the Dungeons & Dragons Essentials Kit. And it might not always seem like it from where you're sitting, but I do put in a lot of effort into these Dungeon Master Prep videos, so if you're enjoying these, please hit like and subscribe to let me know to keep making them. If we go by the book, once the players complete 2 of the 3 starting quests, the characters are going to hit 3rd level, and the first batch of follow-up quests are going up on the job board. So what happens to that 3rd starter quest? Well, the players can do it if they're completists, or if they hit all 3 before reaching Phandalin again, but it doesn't count towards their milestone progression. So that's why I recommend at least considering not telling them that they're level 3 before they make it back to town, in case they do all 3 of these quests before returning. If they do return after finishing that 2nd quest, whatever it may be, I would consider having the Stone Cold Reavers already out on that 3rd one so the players don't have to worry about it and instead have something else to worry about: competition. For some players, that's going to be the best motivation there is. It also makes those mercenaries relevant for when we meet them at the end. Story-wise, in this phase of the adventure, the ending, the dragon, Cryovane, is going to be put on the back burner in part so our adventurers don't chase it down before they're ready. And the quests we're getting are tied directly or indirectly to the orcs and their Talos-worshipping allies. Now, a good B-plot can be a great thing as long as it's related to the main storyline. So when we can, we want to emphasize to the players that these events are all connected. Talk in the tavern, speculation around town, conversations with the town master right through his locked door. Get the idea out there that this dragon coming around has got to be the reason for all of these orc troubles. Now, whether they are allies or rivals or both working for something more powerful still, we don't have to answer that right away, and maybe conflicting opinions abound within the NPCs. There is a whole new wave of NPCs incoming with these follow-up quests, and our heroes have hopefully been building relationships around town and the local area, so we should have plenty of people to talk to and deliver clues and plot hooks in the process if we don't want to use the job board. Maybe we don't like the gaminess of that mechanic, or maybe we don't have time to prep 3 adventures at once, or maybe our players are incredibly indecisive and we don't want to spend half of a session watching them try to make a choice. There are reasons. Even if we are using that job board, there are 4 locations that are never going to be on it. So if you want them in your game, you're going to have to get a little creative with it. And on that note, this is a good point to start dropping clues about the Tower of Storms. Maybe something is in short supply because of a shipwreck on the coast. There seems to be a lot of those lately. Maybe there's some good treasure to be had on the coast for the brave. I really like that location for adventure, and it is probably the best tie-in to the lone-focused triptych of follow-up adventures to this campaign, so think about using it. We'll cover that one soon. Subscribe so you don't miss it, but in this one we're talking about Butterskull Ranch, because it seems the most likely to be the first thing the PCs do, because it feels like the most urgent of these follow-up quests, at least to me. Whether we hand out the 3 new quest cards or have a ranch hand ride into town seeking help, an orc attack feels like a more pressing matter than the other 2 escort jobs, right? And that's cool because you can make Alphonse, Calazorn, Big Al to his friends, a real character if you want to, and another NPC ally to channel information through. In a video where he does a super deep dive interpretation of the geopolitics of Phandalin on his Dungeon Masterpiece channel, Baron de Rop uses the late, great HBO show Deadwood as a reference, and I got very excited when I saw that because that's always been an inspiration when I think about running adventures out of Phandalin. Check out Baron's video here and down there. I can't link to HBO, but maybe check out Deadwood too. If you've seen it, then Big Al Sorensen writes itself. I won't get into it because we try to keep it PG-13 here. Before they meet Big Al, the players have at least 3 days of travel ahead of them to get to Butterskull Ranch. And this is a great opportunity to show them Cryovane is flying around, maybe put a strange storm on the horizon as well, even use some Verdigris random encounter tables. They're also going to come across these horses in the ruins of Coneyberry, which are both a clue and possible mounts. So maybe make their number match the number of the party, or, force the dwarf to double up with the halfling to their great shame. Then we are going to get Petunia the cow, who the players don't know is going to be worth some sweet mithril chainmail, and might not want to have following them into battle with these orcs, right? Understandably. If they do come back looking for her here at the end, I wouldn't roll a d6 as written. I mean, that's fine, but kind of weird to invent a random mechanic and not set a DC for a survival check the skill characters use to track animals in the wilderness. People undervalue rangers because they cut out all the parts of the game that they're good at. Come on. Now that the Dungeon Master has a couple sessions under their belt, right? The designers of this adventure are giving us a little more creative control. It would be nice if they gave us a little more direction to go along with it in a product built for people just getting into this hobby, but that's why I'm here. We get a map and a quantity of orcs, 3 times the party's number, with instructions to put them wherever we want. So the first thing I'm going to say is that if the PCs are outnumbered, they might be in trouble. That's a good rule of thumb for all of your encounter design going forward. All things being around equal, the side who can take more actions in a round of combat has a big advantage. We call it the action economy, and it's in shambles. So if you distribute these orcs around the rooms in this house, right, like we're told, I think you'll find you either have to explain how the whole warband doesn't come running when a fight to the death breaks out in the kitchen and cries ring out and steel's clashing against steel and the butter churn gets smashed, or the PCs are going to get overwhelmed in a couple of rounds. Now, if the PCs run recon here, right, we'll be forced to place all the orcs, though keep in mind they don't have to just wait in their assigned rooms for the players to come and find them. But even if that happens, if we're smart, we can make it feel like the party is battling this entire place at once while maintaining some control over the encounter balance. So I recommend thinking in terms of distinct encounters and waves of enemies. We took a long look at this in our DM prep for the Mountain Door level of Forge of Fury, and you can easily apply those lessons to this adventure and many others, the upcoming Shrine of Savras, plenty of places in your DM career. So links where the links are going. But to keep things simple here, I'd consider having 1 orc sentry on the perimeter of the ranch where the players can get the drop on him and take him out before he can sound the alarm. Then maybe something a little light, like a pair of drunken orcs in the fields trying to catch a pig or something, and there's an outhouse on this map. We gotta put it to good use, right? Come on, an orc heading to the bathroom as the PCs sneak up to the house could tee up a very memorable moment, or see the back row casters get jumped in a few minutes when they've forgotten about him, and he comes running into battle while pulling up his pants. Because unless they are smart and lucky, even if they try to infiltrate this place, there will likely come a moment where most of these orcs are going to figure out that something is up and charge in aggressively. Maybe the players try to talk their way through this one, and let them try. They may surprise you, but beyond ransoming Big Al for a good amount of gold, right, or magic items, I'm not sure that these orcs are going to budge much. And if that social play is successful, Big Al might have to be dragged out of here kicking and screaming, and is going to be offering his own rewards for clearing these bastards out. However it plays out, in a fight, my best advice to you is titrate. Slowly add in more orcs as others fall. I don't care which room they were in or that they can move 90 feet per round. Our job as DM is to keep the combat interesting and fun. You want a bonus way to keep things interesting. In my game, orcs have relentless endurance. Where are the half-orcs getting it from, huh? That keeps them on their feet for an extra turn, usually, or soaks up another attack at least. And keep in mind, this obviously makes them harder. As the dust settles on the Battle of Butterskull Ranch, consider having someone spot a couple orcs hightailing it out of there, maybe as we hear Big Al yelling and pounding from the basement, to telegraph that we may not have seen the last of them. And that will do a little bit of work to connect this to the other 2 follow-up missions on the job board, as well as the 3 adventure sites that won't be going up there. Up next, we'll prep the loggers camp with one eye on getting our players pointed at the excellent Tower of Storms in the process. I will see you there. In the meantime, be kind, have fun.